So without any prompting, what do you like? If you just like, I was like, what's the difference between a trainer and a fitness business owner? What stands out?
So a trainer only cares about the client service and the retention of the client, where a business owner cares about lead acquisition, marketing, sales, as well as service and onboard and retention.
Yeah.
So it's like only one. It's like a trainer only thinks about one element of business.
Yeah.
It's like their clients, or a little bit of sales, obviously, but they don't think about like just.
They don't think about sales when they need clients.
Correct. Yeah. So that's what I was going to say. Like they don't think about every facet of the business that has to run at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, like there's always marketing going. There's always lead acquisition going. There's always sales going. There's always service, always retention. Like they're just like, oh, I've got to turn this on now that I need.
Yeah.
Like I lost 5 clients and now I have to market. It's like,
Too
cool,
late.
man. You're going to get them in like 6 weeks, bro. Like,
Yeah. I think, so what I've got here is, are you building a career or just clocking sessions?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that is...
Direction's definitely one. It's like, what are you doing? Where are you going?
Is your sole purpose to do the most amount of sessions possible? That's all you think about? Or are you thinking about a career? We were having a conversation over lunch today. The position I'm in now is like, what opportunities does what we're doing now open in the future? It's something I'm really conscious of being 36. It's like, what skills does this project give me?
Yeah.
So the project itself needs to be fulfilling, whether that's financial, value-based. Like it needs to give back enough for it to be not self-serving, but like it needs to give enough for me to want to do the thing. But it also now, because we're in a position where we have so many opportunities, we can chase so many different things.
Yeah.
It also needs to contribute to something else long-term. What other skills can it build? What other opportunities can it provide? What other career doors can it open? Like we never make a move based on one thing.
Yeah.
The gym isn't based on that. The academy isn't based on that. Like Standout isn't just what can we do with Standout. Like it's how do we mold this into the future STC umbrella and group and all that stuff. So if you're where we were 10 years ago, just doing sessions, we were starting to think about, I don't really want to do 5:30 a.m. every day and then finish at 8 p.m. and have a nap during the day. This is probably not sustainable for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So how do we make this a career? How do we make this more systemized? How do we grow beyond what were the most successful PTs in the gym, but we weren't successful business owners?
Nah.
All right. So what is a trainer mindset? So if you think these things, probably a little bit of an indication that you have a trainer mindset, not a business mindset. So you focus on sessions and not systems. So we've been in positions where we've done that. You show up.
Yeah, do your work.
You run the session.
Yeah.
You go fishing. You go to the beach. You train. You have a nap. You come back. You do it again. It's pretty fun.
It was good for a bit when you had no responsibilities.
Yeah.
Or you didn't look into the future at all.
What changed that for you?
Bought a house. Bought a house that I couldn't buy on my own, and that my wife was able to qualify. Well, my wife at the time was my partner.
Yeah.
But yeah, we could get the loan off her because she had a stable income.
Yeah.
And I wasn't able to prove I mean, it was like, multiple things. Like I wasn't running a business. I just had money was everywhere. I couldn't prove my income.
Yeah.
All of that. And then I was just like, fuck, like I got to grow up. I've got to get my shit together, I need to be able to prove my income. I need to be able to, have like, I got to pay the bank fucking, at the time it was like 500 grand or whatever my first loan was.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was like, fuck, has to be like the bank's going to come for me no matter what. So I have to make sure I can have that, have my rent, put food on the table, all that shit. So yeah, that was the catalyst for me, but I would argue get your shit together before that so you can actually buy a house.
Yeah. And most people aren't buying houses at the age you do. No,
I was like 25 or whatever. Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah. Because that house is probably worth $1 million now.
Yeah, and then like fortunate because then the second house wouldn't have wouldn't have had a chance if I hadn't had my shit together.
Of course,
we wouldn't have had a chance to get it. So you had to prove all your stuff together. So super important.
So I guess like what you're leaning into there is like the back end of business, making sure that you're doing everything on direct debit, declaring everything, having the right business structure, doing your taxes, doing all that kind of shit. Like I'm working with a guy at the moment who's just like adamant he doesn't want to qualify for GST. I'm like, you want to make 150K, dude. Like it's gonna happen, dude. Like, paying tax means you're making more money.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you want to not pay. You want to pay the least amount possible, but setting up business in a way that traps you,
it's just not scalable
to cover. That is a really dangerous.
It's not scalable though. Like to set a business up like that, and it's like if you it's risky, man.
Yeah,
because it's like, well, how are you taking the other income? And then it's like, who's in control of that?
Setting up the system correctly will offset the 10% loss. Because you'll be able to do more, you'll be able to expand and
absolutely
think about things differently.
Yeah, I think it's a real scarcity mindset too.
So
like just overall.
Yeah. So if you looking through the lens of like sessions, not systems. Back end, you were like, oh, okay, I need an actual business because like I'm an adult.
It was just a rude awakening, that I didn't have one.
What part of it affected how you showed up in the gym, though?
I was pretty good
how you ran your business.
Yeah, I was pretty good from the get-go, I must admit. But only because like I was smart. Like I worked in reception, and I was like, "What are you guys doing here?
Yeah,
like why do you succeed? Why do you not?"
Yeah.
I had a pretty good mentor at the time. Who was just like, he was like, do direct debit, but I was like, the Maltese dude in me was like 50% direct debit.
Yeah.
Like, 50% of the cash goes in my pocket,
Yeah.
But in terms of the deliverables to the client, like they all got a program and, everything was kind of pretty good from the client side of things. But I just got busy and then just didn't think about lead acquisition. Like you just got hung up in working with your clients.
Yeah.
And then 5 would leave and then the world's going to end and you're like, 5 more leave. I'm going to have to get a new job.
Yeah.
And then you put a bit of work in, you get some more clients. And it's just like, it was just like, waves of stress and anxiety when it could have just been like, if you just called a few people every week.
Yeah.
And you just...
one sale a month and you're good.
You just did the work all the time. You would never go through these like highs and lows of like anxiety and stress. It would just be constant. Yeah. And you would just be locked in and focused all the time. So I think that's, at what point were you like, I can't do sessions forever? We did a bit of a map out of like what the future looked like. And we were obviously like, when we had the trainers and when we were looking at, like what the future looked like. And
even to do that though, for us to be like, we're going to do trainers, we're going to do.
Yeah. I think like you showed me that though, like I was just too locked in at the time. Because I really enjoyed my job. So there was a long time there. There's like one regret I have. It was just like getting too just focused on the job, not thinking about the future.
Yeah.
So because I reckon I could have got there a bit faster. Like could have got here faster. So yeah, like I remember you were just like, this is what we can do, and I was like, sweet. Like, I hadn't thought about. Tomorrow. So this sounds,
which I think is where most people are.
Like this sounds great. Yeah. And then
it's like if you're in your 20s, making $2,000.
You think you got all the time in the world.
Yeah, you're making $2,000 a week. And you just don't care. It's like making $2,000 a week.
Yeah,
it's all pretty good.
But you think like, oh, I'm 23, 24, 25. Like I can do this for forever.
Yeah.
Like you don't think time's going to catch up with you. You don't think that there's going to be like milestones in life that you're going to like either want or need. And there's going to be requirements of those things. So what I mean by that is like, if you want a house, like the requirements of that are you got to prove you can pay, unless you got the fucking silver spoon, man, and someone gave you a heap of cash, like you're going to have to borrow that off the bank. You want to get married, like you want to buy a car, like there's all these things that you don't think about when you're in your 20s because you're just like living, young and you're a bit naive or ignorant, and you just don't know what's ahead of you. And then eventually you're like, hang on a minute, like how the fuck am I going to life?
Yeah.
Like what is life look like in 10 years time?
Yeah.
So there was a bit of a moment like that. And then, we just like mapped it out and I was like, fuck man, I can't do 50 sessions a week and do this. And there was like obviously hard realizations of taking few days off, a couple of steps back, hits with income, all of that. But But it's like I'm here now, and it's like making more, doing the time and the flexibility. Obviously, way more stress and responsibility. But it's like if you just look at the immediate kind of what I'm taking out for what I'm giving, a lot of people are like, this isn't worth it.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you got to play the long game and know what you're working towards.
Yeah.
So, yeah, knowing what that looks like is super important.
Yeah, I've got a